Who exactly was Malachi, the last prophet of the Old Testament? If you've ever flipped to those final pages before Matthew and wondered about the man behind the message, settle in. Let's unravel his story. First things first, the name Malachi. In Hebrew, Malachi simply means my messenger. Some reckon that's more of a title than a name, like calling someone the messenger. But most believe Malachi was a real flesh-and-blood prophet, handpicked by God to deliver one final wake-up call. So what was happening back then? Picture Jerusalem around 450 to 430 BC. The Jews have trudged home from Babylonian exile. The Second Temple glimmers anew, rebuilt and ready. But spiritually, the people are drifting, they're tired, they're cutting corners. Malachi stands alongside reformers like Ezra and Nehemiah, calling Israel back to faithfulness when apathy is the norm. Here's the spiritual landscape. People are bringing sickly, blind animals as sacrifices, offering God whatever's left over. The priests, who should set the standard, are corrupt. Faithfulness in marriage is gone, divorce is rampant, and many are marrying foreign women who don't worship Yahweh. On top of that, tithes and offerings are neglected, and people are openly questioning God's love for them. Malachi's book is short, just 4 chapters, but it packs a punch. Chapter 1 opens with God's aching declaration. I have loved you, but Israel shoots back, how have you loved us? God reminds them of their chosenness, contrasting Jacob and Esau, and then calls out priests for their disrespectful, half-hearted worship. Chapter 2 turns up the heat on the priests, calling out their hypocrisy. God condemns not only their leadership but also Israel's broken marriages and disregard for their covenant with him. Fidelity matters, to one another and to God. In chapter 3, the message shifts to hope and warning. God promises a messenger who will prepare the way for him. Christians see this as John the Baptist, pointing straight to Jesus. God invites Israel to return, bring the full tithes, and see if I won't open heaven's windows. There's also mention of a book of remembrance for those who revere God. The final chapter warns of a coming day of the Lord, a day of both judgment and reward. The wicked will be left like ashes, but those who fear God will rise with healing, like the sun. Malachi closes with a promise. Elijah will come before this great day. In the New Testament, Jesus says John the Baptist is the answer to this prophecy. For Christians, Malachi marks the last prophetic voice before a 400-year silence. He's the bridge between old and new, calling God's people to repentance, faithfulness, and hope, pointing forward to Jesus the Messiah. And in just 4 chapters he reminds us, God's love is steadfast, his justice certain, and his promises always worth waiting for.